Good afternoon, FTF fans. We're here live at Talladega here for the Gavin Austin SuperSpeedway Series, or for the full Send SuperSpeedway Series, presented by Gavin Austin and FTN Broadcasting. We're going to hear you here shortly here at Talladega. 19 minutes left in practice. We will eventually zoom in and we will cut to practice, but we will get the show started here shortly, and thank you for your patience. I would also like to welcome to the booth my great friend and good broadcasting partner, Alex Anderson. Well, a wonderful introduction from Alex Anderson as we get ready to start here. So get ready to start here for the for FTN's production of the Full Send SuperSpeedway Series Round 2 at Talladega. Going to be advancing practice here in 2 minutes. Why don't we get to talk to some drivers? Anderson, you feel like talking to anybody today? Was the voice of Well, that was the voice of River Page, the driver of the number 24 Arca Menard Chevrolet Impala. As we get ready to hear start for the Gavin Austin SuperSpeedway Series Round 2 at Talladega. Anderson, that was quite the interesting interview you had with our good buddy River Page. Who do you think is your shot to win tonight's race?
Absolutely insane at dodging wrecks and saving race cars, so I'm going for him to win this race, and if he doesn't, hell, I don't know. It could be anybody here tonight.
Well, right you are. Now as we move into qualifying here, gonna go for a sunset qualifying, almost. Gonna be, I think, well, when I set up the session, it's gonna be a sunset race, just like it was. Hopefully it doesn't go to night. That would reflect really bad on me. Here's Sean Rowe to start his qualifying attempt, rolling out of pit lane. Now, as we get ready for qualifying, Edison, who do you think is going to get on pole?
Pole is a bit of a different question. Honestly, I think I got to go with the qualifying Superspeedway King Jackson Carr. You know, to anybody that sees him on a Superspeedway race, you know that he's almost guaranteed to take pole every single time. I mean, Throttle, we've seen him before in several different races, just always seems to know the perfect line around these tracks to get pole. Currently, we're looking at the 62 of David Kreutz, but in the New York Mets Chevrolet Impala. But Jackson Carr just always seems to know exactly how to get to, or just set extremely fast lap times in qualifying on superspeedways, just every time.
Riding on board with Jackson Carr to see if he can do as you say and get pole position. Right now struggling on the apron. There's his 29 good wrench car. It's Kevin Harvick car, honestly. The spec map is really nice on it.
It's a really nice looking hot rod there. That car was raced in the early 2000s when Harvick used to race for Richard Childress Racing. So, I mean, very iconic car. We'll see if Jackson Carr can take pole with it here tonight. He's going to run the wall on his first lap. That's not something I normally see nowadays. Usually more drivers tend to run the middle because on iRacing, the wall seems to slow you down. So we'll see what he does, see if he pushes on his first lap or his second. We'll see if he throws it to the bottom here. He will at about that yellow sign. He'll make a slow turn down to the apron, and it's on for a full lap. He'll bring it back up towards the wall to the middle lane now. Now he's going to go slightly to the inside. This is just very, very smart line. Jackson Carr knows exactly what he's doing around these plate tracks for qualifying. Through turns 1 and 2, this is just got to hug the yellow line. That's what everybody has to do. Bring it up to the middle, down the back straightaway. Everybody usually does this. He brings it up quite a bit more than I would have guessed, though. He's going to bring it almost all the way up to the wall and then turn back down for turns 3 and 4. Right about it. He's not even going to turn back down for 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to push on his second lap. Now going to run the wall one more time.
Yeah, right. You are running the wall here for Talladega. I was not expecting this, but also he's the cheeser of qualifying. Can get pole at any super speedway. Let's go right on board for his lap and see what he can do.
Yeah, so he's going to start on the wall now. He's going to keep it up there as he crosses the line, not too close to it. Now he's going to slowly bring that Chevrolet down to the inside line for 1 and 2. Once again, just you're riding along in these 31-degree bank corners for about 15-20 seconds here, and then it's a straight shot down the back straightaway. You got to bring it up to about the middle line. Does so very slowly here, just trying to keep it nice and smooth. Just the slightest wheel inputs can throw your laps off majorly. He's already up to second now, it looks like, judging off the ticker. He's going to just lay it on the bottom for 3 and 4, keep it here and just ride along, try to make no movements to that wheel, and he should, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he'll keep it right on that double yellow line, bring it up to that striped line there. Now he's going to go below the apron to try and save some time. This is legal in qualifying, what he is doing. He'll bring it back up onto the track to cross the line. Once the ticker cycles around, we'll see where he ends up.
Jackson Carr is on pole. Sorry to cut you off, Anderson. With the timing data we have now, Jackson Carr is on pole. When the ticker scrolls back around, Jackson Carr is on pole.
So it looks like I'm 1 for 1 on my guesses right now, and he was on pole by a decent amount of time there too. Very skilled super speedway qualifying driver. We'll see if he can hang on to it in the race. There's a multitude of drivers choosing not to qualify. Among those are James Thurston, River Page, and Daniel Mosteller. But on pole by what looks to be 4/10. That is absolutely massive for super speedways.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a lot. I mean, I didn't even imagine that he could have that much of a gap, but I mean, here we are. So, as we get into the last few seconds of here at qualifying, Jackson Carr and Paul Wilkerson somehow 4/10 off the pace. Don't know how. Magic to do that. I guess they only ran their first lap, tried to push on their first lap, and didn't expect it, to be second lap.
Yeah, and that's something that can really throw off super speedway qualifying. Is you don't know whether you want to use your first qualifying lap to build up speed on the top, or if you want to get it down to the bottom for your second lap and then start it there. But Jackson Carr obviously knows exactly what he's doing in terms of any sort of super speedway qualifying. It was easy for him to make that judgment decision as qualifying has ended, and we are set to go for 60 laps around this 2.66 mile racetrack. And dear God, this is a night race.
Oh dear.
That's not good.
Oh no.
So, I don't know how this is going to pan out. Quite frankly, I don't know if we are going to start the race because
oh dear.
There's no lights at this track, if you can't already tell. We literally cannot see what's happening. You can see the silhouettes of the cars and the headlights from the pace cars, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, and quite frankly, there might be a new session going up shortly because this is going to be interesting if they race like this. They can't see each other at all.
Yeah.
In my opinion? Oh, sorry there, Throttle. I just dragged myself into the voice chat. In my opinion, let them race. I can still see stuff. I've got my contrast turned all the way up. I can see everything. So even though it's dead of night on the stream, and yeah, in the driver's perspective right now, I think we could go if we're brave enough, but I'm not sure what you guys are going to be able to see. Going to be a real tough ride here, and yep, dead of night, and some guys, Jackson Carr just disconnected from the server. Oh boy, I don't know what's going to happen. This is going to get real intense, to tell you what, boys. We're in for a show. Will Shack is saying this is unusable, so I do not know if we're going to be able to drive in the night, but I tell you what, until we get a new session up, River Page just joined, we'll be able to put on a show, and I would drive until the sun goes down and up again.
Yeah, okay. There's quite a few people that don't really know how to run in the night, so we're probably going to make an executive order to put up a new session.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and execute order, make a new session. This was not supposed to happen. I apologize because this is and they're already wrecking. I apologize because this was my mistake. I didn't make it a night race. iRacing just goofed on the time.
Well, what time did you put for the race to start?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
I don't know about you. This does not look like 3 p.m. I put that for
practice
across the
to
board.
start or the race to start?
I put that for practice to start. It should have just been across the board. This is not 3 p.m.
Well, yeah, it says practice is supposed to start at 3. Nothing about the race, so you could have made a mistake on that one. But dear God, we're gonna have to make a new session.
And certainly this is going to be interesting. So as you guys get to that, I'll be able to fill some time here, welcoming myself back to the broadcast booth with David Troitz. And tonight I'm driving the number 62, and I am still on the track, and I will keep going until this session is done. And by God, I'll keep driving. Right now, I'm on the first turn, I believe. I can see the silhouette of the fencing, so it looks like I'll be starting right behind the pace car or something. I'm not really sure what's going on. I've got Zach Todroff right in front of me. I don't want to hit him, so I'm going to be real delicate with this. He's about a few tenths ahead of me. So make sure that we keep watching here. The race will be on in its way as I'm down the back straightaway, and I can tell you what, I hit the wall again. I don't know how many guys are going to hold on, but I'm holding on until the show's over. I tell you what.
Yeah, River, you're still in here, by the way. So this is a complete mistake on my end, but we'll get a new session loaded up. And we'll get the race back underway.
Yeah, this is gonna take a minute y'all. I assume it probably be a quick 5-minute qualifying, and then we'll set up the session and join in there hopefully immediately. So, think it's the first throttle moment of the season. We might get a couple more. This is the first one.
We might indulge ourselves in a couple of Alexander Balderas moments. It's definitely not what I had planned. Definitely a bit of an oopsie and mistake on my part as we get ready to put up another session. Everything was good because it's going to copy over.
Yeah, it looks like I'm leading the race for some reason. I'm not really sure what's going on here.
David's just that good at the video game where he can lead. He can just, lead the race when there is no race. But we're gonna get this sorted out, and
I'm hauling right now, boys. I tell you what, I'm leading by about a good 2 seconds as we come down the back stretch.
He's riding the wall. It looks like.
The wall.
I can't tell you what I'm riding. Oh, I'm down by the infield, boys. I cannot tell. Can we get an onboard on me real here?
We're on your gearbox right now, David, and let's go to the onboard. You're right. Let's go to the cockpit view. This is David's point of view.
Boys, I don't know.
You're up on the banking. I know that from us.
Oh, I'm on the banking. That's for sure. Oh, I'm gonna smack.
Just keep it keyed up towards the lights. And
save it, David.
you might be going around.
Save it, David. No. He saved it.
There you go. You're in the wall again.
I can't see the track, boys. I don't know.
We're coming off a turn 4. There's the Sunoco sign.
Throttle. I'm gonna need you to slide me admin in the league.
You know, wasn't there a show in the 80s called The Night Rider? I think my dad liked it, but it looks like right now I am the Night Rider, as I'm gonna be able to lead lap 1. Cha-ching to the driver to number 62. As we lead lap numero uno here in Talladega.
David, the banking's up there. You're gonna have to scroll up to find the banking.
I can't tell you. I'm on the banking, I think. And mind you guys, I'm on controller as this is going on, so it's compounding the challenge.
Yes, this is absolutely not the most ideal moment for David.
Well, I think it is pretty ideal. I'm leading, and we got a lot of guys watching, so I got to thank y'all, because we are still trying to put on the show. Session will be going up with a new configuration, and man, oh man, in the dark, pitch black, got like a 5-second advantage over the remainder of the field here. And I think as soon as everyone quits, I'll back it down and pit. But I'm just trying to show off my road racing, or rather night racing prowess, as it feels like road racing. I can't tell you where I am. Oh, God, I'm going into pit road. Okay, now I have no clue where I am. I just hit something. Oh, I just hit the wall real bad. All right, this is I'm trying here.
Yeah, we're gonna try this again.
And I just got a text from my dad about Knight Rider, so I guess I made the proper reference. And I'm gonna spin.
Yeah, so we're gonna definitely boot up another session. We'll have that up very shortly, as we had our first Alexander Ladarius moment of the season with goofing the session. But we'll try to get it up shortly. So please, please have patience with us, as this was definitely a moment. Getting the session up very, very shortly.
Yeah, I've lost track of where I am now. This is getting tougher.
This is not ideal for David.
Should be following the outside line, but we'll keep going. As Sean Rowe is now behind me for some reason. I think he wrecked out from the lead, so now I'm back in the lead, and he just... Yup, I'm the only person driving, boys. I won this race.
David Kreutz is our Knight Rider winner. As,
yep.
The new session is going up.
And I got to thank everyone who's still watching. 13 viewers, so I tell you what, if you enjoy the shenanigans, I'm sure you'll enjoy the real racing. We got a great show put on, or that we will put on for you tonight, as I am still down the backstretch, and I'm putting on the show that I think this one should count for points. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I don't know, David. I think we might have to... We might have to run this one back another time, and we might have to see who can get the... This should be the all-star race for the season, the Night Dega race with the Arca.
Oh, God help me. I'm going to go down pit road, and... Oh, God, they're gonna disqualify me. I got to clear my penalties.
Yeah, David.
Oh, I'm going to hit the inside.
And David smacks the inside wall. As we get ready to bring up... we're going to get ready to bring up another session. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying tuned in. We're going to get that new session up just in a moment.
Yeah, boys. I blew my motor. It's done.
So,
everyone else is disconnected. I blew my motor. Yeah, the track is dark. So for anyone who's watching, the track is pitch black. Like if I was able to show my perspective, it's pitch black, and it is indeed a night ride, and that's what I made the reference.
Yeah, so we'll get a new session up shortly, and everyone should be joining that one. We thank you for your patience, and as we go to intermission, we'll be back shortly. So thank you all for those who have tuned in so far, and we're gonna be back.
Absolutely. Hell of a show we're putting on so far. And unbelievably, we're still going here. So thank you for everyone that's still sticking around. Talladega, and it won't be at the night. We're coming back with a sweet home 160. We have the drivers. They will be on your screen as it looks like intermission will be lifted. No qualifying on this session, and it's going to be a great one to watch nonetheless. We saw your first event all in the dark, as now we got one barrel rolling, and I will bring it back to the normal commentators. Hey, it looks like just a fun way to open this one up. It looks like I win the event at the dark, but now it's time for me and the remainder of the drivers to put on a great show. So Throttle, Alex, put it back on. It's your show from here.
Well, thank you very much, David. We're going to get ready to get started here in 45 seconds. We're going to bring you the actual racing. Everyone needs a little taster. Everyone needs a little taster of what's to come. And clearly, you already know that we're going to have a stacked field. There's David Kreutz in the back with his Let's Go Mets baseball car. And here's Sean Rowe. With 30 seconds left, they're going to do a pit party. And or a social gathering down pit road would be the more formal way to say it. But Anderson, having that now under your belt, what do you think is going to be for the race going on?
Well, I don't know, because according to people, it looks to be no quali and open set.
Oh my God, they are stuck together. I'm so sorry for interrupting you. If we got to go back on stream and show that again, I don't know if we can get an instant replay. I'm gonna go back and show you here in slow motion as we wait for the race to begin. Here comes Here comes on his merry way. Here comes on his merry way an instant replay. There we can see Sean Rowe leaves pit road. As the session advances, we'll show you that later. Gritting once again, if you didn't catch what I was trying to show you there, Daniel Mosteller is on pole going off of iRacing. So we will give the point to Jackson Carr because he did get pole in the original session. We'll make sure that the admins do that because that was my goof. That was a mistake. But let's focus on our leader currently, Daniel Mosteller. And that's the Cup Series. There is Daniel Mosteller. All right. Got everything under control. Everything's going great. I apologize to those who have had to sit through our shenanigans, but we're back here. And this time we've got a race you guys can actually see. And hopefully the pace car will go and roll off here shortly. Anderson, your thoughts before we get started?
Well, I don't know. I'm a little confused, also a little bit scared for what might occur in front of us. We've got a lot of talented drivers in the field and a lot of drivers that really don't want to be starting up at the front. So honestly, for the start, expect a lot of people to maybe pull out a line like James Thurston and River Page. I remember them saying they did not want to be up towards the front, so expect them to try and pull out a line, make their way towards the rear of the field. And expect some drivers that maybe wanted to be up front, like Jackson Carr, who might not be up towards the front of the field right now. Actually, no, there he is in 6th, so never mind that. But some drivers that are maybe towards the rear of the field that wanted to be up towards the front, so they're going to start making moves to get up there early on in the race where they would have qualified.
You're right about that, so a bit of a goof on the admin's part, but we're going to get ready to go here green again. One lap until we are green here for the Gavin Austin SuperSpeedway Series, now the full Send SuperSpeedway Series, round 2 at Talladega. Daniel Mosteller is on affectionate pole. The point will be given to Jackson Carr as he was the one on pole position for the main race. As if he didn't, I have a feeling though he was going to drop back eventually. He was probably going to take the pole and then drop back. So either way, it works out. But PBR have a strong showing now in an affectionate qualifying now as Zach Todriff and Jacob Wilkerson, PBR teammates, are now lined up with Jackson Carr up there in the mix. That's River Page in the wall dropping back. James Thurston electing to keep his starting position in 2nd place. Daniel Mosteller on pole position for the 5-minute show in practice. But now, again, does your race winner change from Daniel Mosteller, Anderson?
I think it's got to stay there. I got to stay true to what I picked in the first place, so I'm going to stick with Daniel Mosteller. And as the pace car rounds turns 3 and 4, we're getting ready to start the race. We got 20 to 25 Arca Menard Chevrolet Impalas that are ready to go for 60 laps around this track. There will be a forced green flag pit stop eventually. They can't go all the way in terms of fuel, so it'll be interesting to see when drivers do decide to pit and when they decide to come in. But the pace car dives down to the safety of the pit lane, and we're about to get this show underway.
Now, do remember, viewers at home, that the Talladega restart zone, there's someone, wow, in the back. Do remember that the restart zone and the finish line are pushed forward, so as we get ready to go green here at Talladega, please buckle your seatbelts and get ready, as FTN will now produce the Gavin Austin SuperSpeedway Series. We're green here in Talladega.
Both lanes got off the start pretty evenly. Daniel Monsteller edged out in front as they headed off turn 2. Thurston now getting ahead of steam from Jackson Carr up on the top side. He'll have his nose out front as they enter turn 3. Great push coming in from the 43 car to Daniel Monsteller. The outside line going to start to fall back in the corners as now Monsteller completely cleared out into the lead as there are cars already starting to fall back from this main pack. Jackson Carr, though, giving Thurston a nice shove down this front straightaway. The 43 still trying to help get Daniel Monsteller completely out in front. They did it at one point now, still trying to keep him completely out there, but James Thurston making a good run on the top side.
Yeah, right, you are, Anderson. Daniel Monsteller now out front here at Talladega, leads lap 1. Lap 1 of 60. We still got 58 laps to go here at Talladega down the back. We've already got people going below the yellow line. We've already got a strong pack here at the front. Jackson Carr pushing James Thurston on the top side. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now with the new iRacing update that came out a few months ago, you can actually push in the ARCA cars now as an effective super speedway package, but do be warned, you can still turn people.
Yeah, so drivers are going to have to try and manage that while still going as fast as they can. Jacob Wilkerson still giving Daniel Monsteller a great push. You can see Zach Todruff in that line of cars as well. And you still just see everybody's trying to work together. Nobody's really making insane moves at the moment. Everybody's just keeping it cool, calm, and collected as they try and just wind down some laps. You log some laps, and maybe we might even see some green flag pit stops if they go like this for a while. Nobody's really too close to each other. Not a lot of big cars in one massive area. So honestly, I think they could get as far as green flag pit stops.
You're right about that. Green flag pit stops may be a possibility as we see David Kreutz now appearing about the top 10, about 9th. David Kreutz here trying to make a show for us broadcasters and producers to be up front here at Talladega. The field looks to round out of turn number 4 to begin lap number 4. Daniel Monsteller still leads.
Yeah, and this is what you're going to see for pretty much for pretty much most of the laps in the first half of this race. Drivers are just going to keep it even, not really go for any crazy moves, but one driver is being adventurous already. That should be John Smith, driving the number 48 Lowe's machine up on the top side. He has help from about 4 other cars up there. River Page is up there, I see. Can't really identify too many cars on the top side. You see the 99 of Will Shack up there, I believe that is. The 41 car, I believe that's James Bomar, if I'm not mistaken. Now they're 3 by 3 for the lead as both top lanes start to fall back in the corners. Daniel Monsteller continues to just hang out on the inside line, leading this race comfortably up there. 3 cars working the very outside, still about 6 or 7 cars leading the middle.
Yeah, right you are. Also known as Floppa. John A. Smith now trying to make it work on the outside. Getting rid of that third row with Sean Rowe just behind him. And I believe the 41 of Max Molina might be behind him, he's in the wall. Now getting scraped on the wall. I believe Max Molina now slowing down. That's unfortunate. That kills the run. River Page now shooting out to the top side. Let's go on board with John A. Smith and see. Here's the fan cam of the view right now. It's from the wrong side of the grandstands, but we've already got a lap car out front, and it looks like it's the Coors Light car. Here is the fan cam. We can see John A. Smith making his moves around the outside.
He's got his nose out front.
David Kreutz now moves up to the top, and now John A. Smith effectively takes the lead.
Yeah, and we'll see if he decides to clear himself. He's going to keep his car up there for the moment, just trying to maintain pace on that high side as he's now comfortably in the lead by half a car length on board of Daniel Monsteller. You might start to see the 48 car creep into view by the end of the back straightaway here. And judging off that front bumper right there, it looks like Thurston and Smith dead even down the back straightaway into turn 3. James Thurston ahead by a little bit there. John Smith and his group going to start to fall back, and now you can see everybody flying by on the inside. This is the patience you have to deal with around this racetrack, especially if you're on that very top side, as now Jackson Carr going to peek out of line to try and lead that top side somewhere. That's going to force James Thurston to fall back. So that car is going to move down to the middle. I'm not quite sure who that is, but this is just the massive test of patience that these drivers are going to have to deal with. Just, you can get as far as you want on the top side, but you got to be ready to lose all of that ground in the corners.
Yeah, right you are. Talladega, a test of man and machine. Going down the back straightaway now, Jacob Wilkerson seems to be taking the lead in the middle, riding on board with Daniel Mostello. This, honestly, is turning out to be a really good race. This now Jackson Carr peeks his bumper out to the lead.
Yeah, Daniel Mostello are going to get that run on the inside in the corner, so those PBR teammates up on the top side, however, they're getting a nice run here. Still even off the corner, they're going to get a nice run down this front straightaway, pretty much even between all 3 lines there as Wilkerson leads the middle lane out front. Here comes Jackson Carr with a nice run on the top side. He'll stick his nose out front as they come into turn number 1. Nobody's still able to clear Daniel Mostello for the lead of that inside line yet. They're all just staying dead even as this pack is really, really formed up now. 3 by 3, almost 4 by 4 down the line as everybody... I honestly wouldn't have expected this type of racing this early. 4 wide in the middle pack is David Kreutz just getting under somebody right there. That's with the Chad Little number 97 car. Not sure who the driver is. They door each other. Chad Little car almost gets sent up into the wall. They all keep it together. Kreutz goes below the apron to try and just keep his car safe. I'm surprised they didn't wreck there, and I'm honestly surprised they're going for moves like this early. This is not something I would have expected.
Right, you are almost 10 laps into this race, and we've still got 52 laps to go. David Kreutz already sending it 4 wide below the yellow line. I don't know if that's allowed, but he's definitely getting ballsy this early in the race.
I don't think he was just sending it there trying to make moves. I think he was just trying to maybe go down there to avoid a checkup, as that inside line abruptly just checked up in front of him. He might have had to go down there just to avoid any contact, force them 4 wide, and eventually got back in line. As actually, while we were looking at that, Jackson Carr cleared Daniel Mostello for the lead of that inside line. However, John Smith on the top side still getting a nice run through turns 3 and 4 now, but Jackson Carr is just going to get that run through the corner and surge back to the lead now. He'll start to come back up to the middle to try and just control this pack. That's going to give Daniel Mostello an opportunity to retake the lead with help from Zach Todriff through the tri-oval.
Yeah, right you are. Daniel Mostello now back to the lead as across the line they go. I believe Daniel Mostello may have just edged out, but it still says Jackson Carr is our effective leader. But here out front now at Talladega, we've got Daniel Mostello over Zach Todriff now. And then Jackson Carr in the 29 at the top. 43 Jacob Wilkerson just behind him. And David goes again to avoid a checkup below the yellow line.
Yeah, and Thurston tried to peek to the top to try and get another 3 wide effort going, but it looks like everybody has calmed down for now. Those first opening lap jitters have seemed to go away for the most part, as that's going to make Thurston fall back. He might have honestly gone up there willingly just to bring himself towards the rear of the field, because I remember mentioning at the top of the show that him and River Page were 2 of the most notable drivers that might have done that. There might be a 3rd lane effort going on now as 3 cars are up there, 2 towards the front, 1 a little bit further behind.
Oh,
Jackson Carr almost gets turned.
Carr.
Yeah, he almost got turned off the front bumper at Daniel Mostello. He's going to keep it below the apron. He's going to be forced to come up the track. They're 4 wide now. John Smith and Zach Todriff, and they're around. That's going to force Smith into the wall. I'm not sure if that will be a yellow, because they all kept it decently straight. That will be our first yellow here tonight on lap 11.
There goes Daniel Mostello, who made minor contact. And right now, focusing on Sean Rowe now, Jackson Carr. The first yellow out here at lap 11.
Yeah, so it looked like what happened there is just Jackson Carr got turned off the nose at Daniel Mostello, and he had to come back up the track. We'll get another angle of it here. as this is off turn number 4, heading down the front straightaway, and in they come to the trial, but you see a massive shove from Wilkerson to Jackson Carr. That'll put him leading the inside lane, and you'll see it looks like Daniel Mosteller just gets really close to the back bumper of that number 29 car, forces him below the apron. It was a great save, and then he had to come back up the track eventually, couldn't hold it down on the baking transition, forced them 4 wide, and everybody up on the outside just couldn't hold it together. Zach Todriff smacks John Smith, smacks the 41 car back there. I think that was James Bomar and a bunch of other cars involved as well. Looks like a Crown Royal car back there. I can't really tell at the moment, but a bunch of drivers involved in that one.
I've already got the big one here on lap 11, but I assume there might be one bigger later in the race. David Kreutz locking up the brakes as we go back live.
Well, he is on controller, so you got to cut him some slack there. He's doing pretty good for on controller, though, I must say.
Yeah, we must mention David Kreutz, who's goofing off a little bit right now as everyone locking up their brakes. He is on control. Oh, save it, David.
Oh, there he goes.
No.
There he goes.
Right as we were talking about David. Oh, here he comes
back
in the shot.
Here he comes back. So I think you can definitely tell that he's on controller just by his jittery movements there. He's kind of just going side by side, locking the brakes up right in front of James Thurston as though he goes. And the majority of the field going to come down into the pits, presumably for some fuel, maybe some tires as well to improve the handling of those race cars. But just any time you can put fuel in these cars, you're going to want to, just that way you can get yourself better and better towards the end of this race. Jackson Carr pushing the 27 through the pits.
Yeah, right you are. Daniel Mosteller comes down through the road. There is Jackson Carr making his pit.
I'm reverse on pit row, by the way.
Go back to him. We got to see this.
We're going to go back to the 62 of David Kreutz. He's reversing
there he goes.
down pit road. David Kreutz is reversing down pit road. He's going to make his pit stall. David, are you think you're going to... No.
Look at that. Wow.
The insane controller skill.
He's doing a burnout all the way down the pit lane. I assume you're going to take tires after that.
Yeah, just having a bit of fun here. I didn't know. I saw you guys were focusing on me, so I just started turning around. So I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining.
David Kreutz is probably the most skilled person on controller that I think I've ever met on iRacing.
Probably, yeah.
After that showing, I don't think River Page or Jason Beckman could contend, as we got a person getting their live. That's not John A. Smith. That's another 48 car. That was probably the most skilled showing I've ever seen on controller.
Yeah, that was a very impressive display.
My controller disconnected. I just blew the motor.
So, and okay, so it appears Kreutz has done a little bit of an oopsie there. What'd you say? You did something on the controller, and now the engine just blew or something. Yeah, there it goes.
I slammed it. Yeah, I got to get a faster pair, I think.
Yeah, he's going to need a faster pair after that. He's saying he slammed the car into the wall or something, and the controller disconnected, and now heavy smoke pouring out of the back of that 62 machine.
Let's get an instant replay here in half speed. Ooh.
It was a big hit.
And under caution, David Kreutz will need a faster pair as his car is cooked.
Yeah, that's and he's having a little bit of more fun on the controller. David, you might want to get it back to the pits before the yellow ends. And he's throwing it in reverse. So here we go, round 2. He's going to throw it in reverse for the car that's blowing up and see if he can get it back to the pit lane. Maybe, hell, it might keep the temperatures down. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if this is smart enough to keep the temps down because the grill is at the front of the race car. He's in turn 3. He's not reversing all the way to pit lane. Well, that's going to take David a minute as we wait for David to reach pit road. We're going to go back focused on the leader. It's saying River Page is the leader, but the 97, I believe, is scored as our leader. It's actually CJ Almond. So, CJ Almond is currently our leader as they go across the line. They will go green this time by. So let's go check on David, see how he's doing.
Yeah, he might have stayed out to just to try and get his car up towards the front of the field. Now is David still making his way down the back straightaway? He did blow the motor there. That's going to be a tow back to the lane, so that'll probably put David Kreutz firmly out of this race. And as the pace car has a little bit of fun there, it looks like it jumped into the ground as a sign of respect. David Kreutz might not be with us, at least on the lead lap, by the time this race gets back underway. CJ Ullman driving the Chad Little, number 97 John Deere Ford Fusion. Or Ford Taurus, excuse me. He's going to see if he can beat River Page up there on the on the outside with the W number 24 Ford Fusion.
Yeah, right you are. This is turning out to be a very interesting race. I'm not sure how we got here, but lap 14 of 60 here. We've still got a good chunk of the race to go, and they're already racing like it's the last lap. So this is most definitely going to be one of the races of all time.
Throttle, I'm going to need you to check the...
Okay.
Anyway, apologies. Apologies. I had to notify Throttle about something that's going on with the overlays. So, see if we might be able to get that sorted out. We might not. Y'all might just have to deal with it. But I don't know if you can tell, but the numbers on the ticker, they're a little bit messed up. They don't exactly match each of the cars on track. So, gonna see if we can maybe get that fixed, but you guys might have to deal with it.
Well, this is also because not everyone has sent in the numbers, so...
Well, yes, but we'll do our best to try and separate the real numbers from the fake numbers that you might be seeing on the ticker. Like, for example, Daniel Mosteller says he's in the 28 car. He's actually in the 87, just for reference. So, yeah, racing pace car going to dive it back down into the pits, and it'll be a long run to the Geico restart zone for CJ Allman, River Page. You see Jacob Wilkerson in there, Jackson Carr driving the number 29 Good Run Chevrolet as well. The green flag is back out. We're back racing underway from Talladega.
Yeah, right you are. CJ Allman with a good restart there. Now River Page on his outside drops down low. As Jacob Wilkerson elects to go up with Jackson Carr and get him to the lead again. The rest of the field sleeping on the restart.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big gap between that number 27 Wendy's car. I want to say that's Cody Williams, if I'm not mistaken, driving that number 27 Wendy's machine. Is the rest of the field going to need to catch back up to the field, as everybody now going to group back up, and this might create a lot of energy for this field, and that could result in a wreck, honestly, as this field, when all those cars back there draw closer to the 5 cars leading the outside lane, it might create a lot of energy for this field, and it could result in a wreck if they aren't careful. So we'll have to see if they can deal with that and just get it back sorted together. I reckon that after that first wreck, you might not see drivers being so aggressive or as aggressive as they were during that first stint. They might just try and get to the green flag pit stop that would happen this run. But already some aggressive blocking moves, trying to get drivers down to the inside to line up against the PBR freight train on the top, consisting of Jackson Carr, Jacob Wilkerson, and Sean Rowe. So we'll see if they make a run on the outside or if that inside line can start to fight back. They're led currently by Cody Williams in the 27.
That's actually Josh Williams in the 27.
My apologies.
But River Page being split 3 wide by his teammate James Thurston. These guys are, I'm assuming because they have 2 fast repairs, they think they don't have to take a break, which honestly for me isn't the smartest idea. But you know, I'm not the one driving. I'm not behind the wheel. It's not my decision to push hard or push now. But I guess here they are.
Yeah, if I were one of these drivers, honestly, I'd be in the back where that number 48 car, John Smith, is right now, just kind of biding my time, you know, not trying to be too involved with the main pack, just trying to keep the car clean and get it to the end of the race, because honestly, if I were one of these drivers, I'm not going to want to be in this 3-wide pack right now. I just don't think it's worth it when we're not even a third of the way through the race. So these drivers obviously being very ambitious in their effort to put on a show here, it seems like, is everybody fanning out, trying to make any moves they can, is pretty much this inside line going to fall completely out of touch from the rest of the field, and a new inside line is going to form there in turns 3 and 4 as all those drivers that once ran the middle come down to the bottom lane as the outside starting to fall apart.
Yeah, right, you are. James Thurston now effectively takes the lead as this has actually been quite an exciting race. Now a little bit died down as they're not 3 wide once again, so they got a good initial start, and I guess off the restart, no one wanted to help. Zach Childress moves up to the top with no help, as there goes James Thurston down to the bottom with his teammate River Page just behind him. Max Molina now jumps up to the top with Zach Childress, now trying to get something done. So does CJ Allman, and so does Jackson Carr and Wilkerson. River tries to go to the top and is barely clear. Daniel Mosteller wiggling around in the middle.
Yeah, oh no, 2 cars on the outside. Well, that's Sean Rowe, James Bomar. The 97 is CJ Allman involved as well. Zach Todriff almost upside down. That is another multi-car wreck before we are even a third of the way through this race, and we're under yellow for the second time here tonight.
Yeah, so right you are. We're going to go back and see what that was. We're going to get an instant replay. So here's Here's going into turn number 3. We can already see that the field is starting to stack up. There's River Page. He goes up to the top just off screen. Daniel Mosteller goes to wiggle around his race car. And as you'll notice, everyone tries to get to the top. Oh, and Zach Tardif just turns. Oh, you can see there. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Here's Zach Tardif there. You can see just turned Sean Rowe and the rest of the field blew by. So another wreck in there. Almost saved it. We've got wrecks galore, and we've already got another caution out. Here comes Daniel Mosteller. Oh, almost collecting River Page while slowing down. I believe Daniel Mosteller is on 900 degrees of steering wheel rotation, so good luck for him as James Thurston goes through the grass.
I think that's how he can save cars that are like turned around backwards and still get it pointed in the right direction, but honestly, that wreck just looked like Zach Todriff just got too close to the 41 in front of him. I believe that's James Bomar there. You could see him riding around in the Dodge there trying to get it back to the pits. It looks like Todriff just pushed him into Sean Rose, sent them down into the car to the inside, and then they both got pushed back up to the outside wall, and then it was just mayhem from there. Zach Todriff got pile driven by the green and black car with the green flames on it. I'm not sure who that was, but they piled into Zach Todriff, almost sent him over. Sean Rowe got slammed into by one of the Lowe's number 48 cars. I think that might have been John Smith that was involved in that. So a lot of drivers going to be coming down pit road and maybe taking some fuel, and especially for those involved in the wreck, definitely some fast sprayers.
Yeah, focusing on the current, as our timing ticker says, leader right now, I believe this is Sean Rowe. Although it's showing Joseph Lewis in the 6 machine is apparently our leader. So, pit stops now occurring for the rest of the field. We're going to look back here. Here's David Kreutz.
I'd say get an instant replay on the 62 right now. Go back like 30 seconds and you'll see what I just did.
Okay, we're going to go back to
replay.
Oh, and he's sliding through the grass here. We're going to... So...
He's taking a shortcut. Some impressive car control there on the controller.
Especially on controller, David Kreutz then goes to get his lap back. That worked out perfectly for David.
It really did. He sent it to the inside, got it back up onto the racing surface to the outside of the pace car, and as the rest of the field heads off of pit road, I do believe we will be receiving the 1-to-go signal at the line, but it is going to be a long time pacing as pace laps around this 2.66 mile superspeedway. Pace speed is only 65 miles an hour, so it is going to take them a minute for them to get all the way back around, but I do believe we should be going green next time by.
Yeah, right, you are green next time by. We have a new leader on the board, Joseph Lewis. Then Daniel Moore behind him, John A. Smith in the 48 machine just behind him. Then it's Jackson Carr. That's your fast 4. I believe James Thurston might be up there, but we don't know as right now. We're riding on board with the pace car and
it to the grass.
James Thurston is going through the grass.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of fun.
I just want to take a moment to appreciate the greatness of the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car, and
the truck. I fear.
There's David Kreutz. There you see in the back of your shot, and no longer. I just want to take a moment to appreciate the fact that back in 2020, I believe this is an iRacing little Easter egg. The Mustang pace car was solid gold. I believe that was for iRacing's, I think, 10th year anniversary. I could be wrong. But that...
I do remember that.
Yeah, so the gold pace car was a thing for a while, but now we're back to the normal pace car, and we're back to 1 to green. So the field lines up double file. David Kreutz should be closing in on the field shortly. I hope. You know,
we might see him in the background flooring it through the grass at one point. Here he is.
So here he is, reversing down pit road again.
There he is. She's trying to get it turned around. There he goes.
Here's the blimp view. And there goes Daniel Marcel. Oh, and someone's flying. CJ Allman slams David Kreutz on pit road.
That might have to be a penalty. That's messed up. That's not good. I want to see if we can get a... CJ 100% would have slammed the outside wall hard there, and that might even result him having to take another faster pair. I want to see if we can get we don't really need a slow-mo, but just a replay of what happened to CJ Allman there. So I want to see if we can swap over to his view. He was doing a normal thing that's usually allowed in races like this, where you can just floor through the pit lane to save time and get back to the lead pack. So let's see if we can switch over to where he was. You see Daniel Mosteller come into frame. He's going to slow down for Kreutz as he comes back across the pit lane. Here comes CJ Allman, just tries to get it turned down, but Kreutz slams into him. He hits his rear end on the pit wall, and if he hit this outside wall here, it's probably his grounds for a penalty. Yeah, that's bad. That might have just ended CJ's race too. So I think, honestly, Kreutz, I know you're in here and you're listening to me, but that's got to be grounds for a penalty. That's just not right.
Well, that also, unfortunately for CJ, will be a unsafe pit exit, so he'll get a black flag, but he'll get it cleared. So narrowing down the time we have about 40 laps left in this race, but an exciting one for sure as the pace car ducks down pit road. Anderson, what do you think? How this has been just the first few laps. How do you think the rest of the race is going to go?
Well, judging off of what we've seen so far, I reckon it's only going to get more intense here. I don't know if we're going to see any green flag pit stops because these drivers have just been on it every single lap trying to make insane 3-wide moves. So, I mean, it's very easy with this car, but the green flag is back out, and we're back racing at Talladega, and it's a Kyle Busch start there from a 48 car up on the top lane, one of the two in this race. That
John A. Smith.
That might be grounds for a penalty there if I'm being honest, but we'll see what the admins decide to do over that. As he made no attempt to slow down really, but you're going to see them go 3 wide almost immediately again because of how easy it is in this car. PBR drivers lining up on the outside, and you'll see Sean Rowe and River Page line up on the top side as well. Sean Rowe going to duck it back to the middle, then go right back up to the top there as side by side for the lead once again. John A. Smith going to get split now by his PBR teammates of Jackson Carr and Jacob Wilkerson, as it currently is, if I'm not mistaken, Joshua the 20 or that Mobile 1 car on the inside line, can't remember his name right now, but Joseph Lewis, excuse me. Joseph Lewis getting pushed by James Thurston on the inside now, with John Smith following there. Looks like another car, the green and black car with flames following them, currently P6. And then it's the 27 Wendy's car up in there as well.
I won't blame you, Alex. The top 6 drivers here, their names all start with J. Jackson Carr, Joseph Lewis, Jacob Wilkerson, James Thurston, John A. Smith, and Josh Williams. I don't blame you for getting their names mixed up. This has been a chaotic race, and I don't think Flopper or John A. Smith had the service penalty there in the Mat 48 up at the top.
Yeah, so he'll keep it back out on the track as Cody Williams, that's the car on the inside there, 3rd car on the inside. I believe James Bomar, 4th car on the inside there. There you see the 77 car as well down on the inside. I'm not sure who that is. I know it's not River Page like the ticker might be saying, as the ticker numbers are a little messed up at the moment due to having switched sessions. But it looks like Jackson Carr going to take the lead, going to leave his PBR teammate up on the top side. Drake Berry going to have to push Jacob Wilkerson out front now as they're side by side once again for the lead going into turn number 1 now. John A. Smith up there as well. Cody Williams slid up the track there. Sean Rowe going to hope to make it 3 wide up on the outside with River Page there. Daniel Mosteller's in that lane as well. They'll duck it back to the middle now, back up to the top. Sean Rowe trying to block Daniel Mosteller now, as it looks like they're just going to settle in there and just hang out instead of racing that hard to push River Page up towards the front. James Bomar considered going up to the top side, but he's got a car to his outside now. Can't do it. Sean Rowe going to duck back to the middle lane.
Yeah, no, that was definitely interesting riding on board here with Jackson Carr. He's in the lead again. Minus what the ticker says, riding on board with Jackson Carr. Going to be side by side with Jacob A. Wilkerson at the line. Give it to Jackson Carr. And so, what a save from Demos after being horribly Joey Logano blocked, as a lot of people say, by Sean Rowe there in the 99. But one of our friends now going to go up there on the top side with Daniel Mosteller. River Page trying to get moves done. Is right on board with Jackson Carr. Gonna go look to the inside of Jacob A. Wilkerson, who's gonna try and clear himself, but he can't. So right now, the Jackson Carr show out front.
Yeah, and he's still got company up on the top side, and they aren't gonna leave him alone anytime soon. And watch that 3rd lane come into this fight as River Page starting to make up ground as that 28 car of Joseph Lewis, not really giving Jackson Carr the help he needs at the moment. Drake Berry going to get Jacob Wilkerson clear of the inside line. Jacob Wilkerson going to stick with that middle lane as they head back through turn number 1. Got a lap car. They're coming back up on CJ Allman, who in my opinion was wrongfully taken off the lead lap there by an incident on the pit lane, so he'll end up going a lap down there. No, that's 2 laps down there, as he and David Corey's the only 2 people a lap down now. So if another yellow comes back out, he will be able to get his laps back, but still very unfortunate for him, as that could have ended his day if he can't get back in the main pack. Jacob Wilkerson now, he's going to take advantage of being cleared, and he will take the inside line, as now it'll be Drake Berry and John Smith trying to get that middle lane to the front.
So this is an interesting view from the middle of the pack. This is where a lot of drivers fear to be, as right as we were on board, Sean Rowe gets turned and saves it. As it just barely taps the wall, and he's going to come down the track, and he will be clear.
I don't know if they're going to throw yellow for that. It was only 2 cars.
No, they got more
going, but
wrecking
no,
at
they
the
wrecked
front.
up. They wrecked in the front as well. Looks like 1 car, Daniel Mosteller, and they will end up throwing yellow for that. So it looks like Daniel Mosteller spun to the inside. It looks like the front end might be a little crinkled there. Oh, heavy damage to the right rear of that car, so that'll probably be a fast repair for him. My pick not doing so hot right now. He's wiggling the car a little bit, as that was 2 separate wrecks, one on the trioval, one in turn 1 there. This is what happened to Sean Rowe. He got wrecked from the middle lane and just threw it down to the inside. Almost gets hit in the rear end by that number 77 car. Not sure who that is, but very, very good heads-up driving to avoid Sean Rowe there.
Yeah, trying to go up. Here's the battle for the lead, what happened, and then we're going to go to the crash in the back of the pack, I believe. And not showing us here, as there's Josh Williams in the lead. So, and another incident in the back of the pack brings us out another yellow here at lap 28 out of 60. So, a wreck involving multiple drivers at the back of the pack. Unfortunately, we can't show you because ATVO's not cooperating in kind. And more damage to the 54 of Zach Todriff, I want to point out.
Yeah, it just seems like he just has not gotten any sort of luck to go his way tonight so far, but he just has not managed to get any luck in this race. He just can't really get anything to go his way at the moment. He's been involved in almost every wreck right now and probably has already used up the fast repairs he was given. So driving around with a very damaged Toyota Camry right now, I reckon he might come into the pits under this yellow with everybody else. Not even to just pit, or not even to just take fuel, just because pitting here would probably get him to the end of the race if I'm not mistaken, but not even for fuel, but just to fix some of that damage there, as he will have a very long time of pacing to get that damage fixed. And we'll see who does come down pit road as Daniel Mosteller hard into the outside wall off turn 4, as a lot of the field electing to stay out. Very bold decision. You see Jacob Wilkerson, John A. Smith.
We gotta spin down pit road.
Oh, look at that. Daniel Mosteller was in it. Another car was around there. The 77 almost got hit as well. So I'm not quite sure what happened there.
I'm not quite sure either. Let's go. Here's a replay of the incident. Daniel Mosteller is parked. And not quite sure. We're going to rewind it here. But Daniel Mosteller tries to go down pit road. A little coming too hot, and the 3... Ooh. And I don't know.
And what car did he tag there? That's the Coors Light. What's the number on it?
The number 3, Daniel Mosteller coming in hot. And the 3, in my opinion, did nothing wrong because he missed. He didn't go past the commitment cone. It was a late call, but yeah, Daniel Mosteller kind of overcooked it down pit road and collects the 3 car. Sean Rowe also stops.
Who is driving that number 3 car there?
The number 3 car, that's Skylar Harrod.
Skylar Harrod, okay.
Skylar Harrod there is Daniel Mosteller still in his pit box. So unfortunately, in a tough race for your pick to win.
Yeah, he hasn't had the best of showing, but I still think, I mean, you can never count Daniel Mosteller's car out of a race. Every time he seems to get it fixed and end up back up towards the front of the field, so I'm not counting him out just yet.
Counting anybody out just yet, but clearly a few incidents involved for Daniel Mosteller. Actually, while we're still under yellow, let's go give a talk. Daniel Mosteller, you joined us here in the FTN booth. Explain to us what happened as you had an incident down pit road.
He pulled in really late, and I had like a broken right front because these clowns can't drive, and Yeah, my car was killed. Got to take a fast repair now, thanks to these idiots.
So clearly not happy with the on-track incidents, and a little bit of a spoiler here. You are Alex Anderson's pick to win the race.
Brother.
How do you feel on your chances of getting to victory lane?
Very low.
Fair enough. I like the honesty.
It's very low, not going well for Daniel Marsteller. Anything else you'd like to say?
Throttle, thank you for helping me fix the PC. You know, it's working pretty well right now. Only one power surge, and I can actually drive. So
Yeah,
maybe it's a good luck charm.
It doesn't look like you were blinking all too bad, honestly. I mean, I'm happy to help. So, thank you so much for joining us in the booth, and hopefully you can get to victory lane.
You want to watch the Clyde Cup after the race?
Yeah, I'm definitely down to do that.
All right.
All right.
That.
So if you don't know, McClyde Cup is hosted by Frank DeAngelis on his Twitch channel. I think it's Push the Smush, if you're looking at it, or in the IDK player server. But I might myself tune into that after this race, or I have a date with Alex Anderson to go play Plate Up.
Yes, sir. You know, we were trying to play that before the stream, but we ended up not having time, so we're going to hopefully see if we can get that one in. But we'll see what happens. Is now they're going to receive the 1-to-go signal heading off at turn number 2. Wilkerson and John A. Smith make up the front row, pushed by Daniel Moore and Josh Williams. They're right behind him. And as the field starts to line up, David Croyt's going to go for another lap back. I believe CJ Allman currently doing the same thing as well, as we're on board with the 62.
David Croyt's, well, I'm just going to say, been the most interesting character this race. He's done some wild things. He's reversed down pit road, gotten in a pit road incident, did a burnout and spun reverse, went into his pit stall again on controller in pit road. So this is pit road master right here, David Croyt's. And apart from the incident earlier, I think he's had a pretty good race.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an up and down day for him. I mean, you see him getting laps back under yellow, but he also accidentally tagged CJ Allman and took away his, or pretty much his CJ Allman's chances for now. With that contact, I reckon CJ's still getting his laps back at the moment. There he is, rejoining the field. So I want to see the gaps from the leader, so we can still see if he's a lap down or not. I hope he's back on the lead lap, because he deserves to be. It just was so unfortunate that he got caught up in that. But the iRacing safety car going to get ready to go to get back into the pit lane, and it'll be all up to the drivers as they round the tri-oval now. Wilkerson, Smith, Moore, and Williams now, as there's still a couple of cars behind him that we haven't seen up front so far, those being the 23 and the 72. We'll see if they can get themselves up towards the front of this field. The Geico restart zone. We're back underway from Talladega.
John A. Smith with an absolute sleeping restart. River Page now makes it 3 wide. Gonna go with, and he cuts back in line. And he's going to almost make it 3 wide again off of the start. Jackson Carr getting a good start there as well. So Jacob Wilkerson out front right now. And with how spread out the pack is, I think him being out front this far, I don't think he's going to be freight trained. I think he has a good chance of staying out front.
Yeah, definitely. And they're going to, I mean, you can't really say that they're going to freight train the inside because of just the amount of momentum that can be generated by just one car on the outside. So you're going to see Jackson Carr and River Page work the top together. Josh Williams, is just going to hold it together on the inside all by himself there. And that's just pretty much just a moment with the ARCA cars on the iRacing service. It's just they can create so much momentum just completely by themselves. But now Cody Williams going to get some help from the 72 car, I believe that is back there. So now the middle lane going to have some drivers up there to try and help Skylar Hollard in there as well, to try and help that middle lane get towards the front. Jackson Carr making up some ground. So is Josh Williams with some help from the 72 machine. Jacob Wilkerson still leads the inside line.
Yeah, and apologies for any names we mispronounce, as we were given a little bit of a short notice here at the drop of the green flag. But Jacob Wilkerson still out front here at Talladega. 3 wide already. I'm not sure if I agree with that already, but as we've seen, these drivers seem to be very skilled and have their moments, but, as Daniel Marsteller was saying, a lot of these quote-unquote idiots, that was a Marsteller quote, not from me, so nobody get angry at me, they're gonna start pushing already, and we've still got over halfway to go. And just a reminder for all those, and there goes Will Shack in the wall, and he's gonna get turned. Will Shack, after getting in the wall, had gotten turned. I believe Will Shack is the 35. And he saved it.
He saved it, but he's got a considerable amount of rear end damage. So that won't be a yellow, and that's a replay of it right there. Zach Tondriff again. The 77 car was in that as well. James Bomar sends it up against the wall to get around him. They might be able to catch up to the lead pack if they can work together really well, but a lot of damaged cars back there. I don't know if they're going to do it. Here they are. This is Will Shack riding in line with the 77 there, not able to catch up to the field. It was stayed primarily 3 wide ever since the restart, and 3 wide throughout the race. Now is there 4 wide ending into turn 1. Big checkup on the inside. Thurston, Skylar Hollard, they're going to get back to 3 wide there. That was very sketchy for the field. They almost could have went around, but great driving there from everybody to keep it together. Now is there to go 4 wide again with that white car on the inside. River Page, James Thurston, and Jackson Carr. James Thurston almost forces the white car below the yellow line. That's the 23 machine. And it looks like they'll get back 3 wide again. River Page still getting them to go 4 wide now into turn number 3.
Oh, and I don't know if you heard that as well. I hear some cars. James Thurston with an aggressive move to the top now goes back to the middle. So these guys are already starting to push, and CJ Almond, after getting in a wreck with David Kreutz, our broadcasting producer. Now David is 6 laps down, but CJ Almond hanging on to the back of the pack, and below the yellow line goes to 72. Gonna stay on the apron, and he's gonna come up, and nobody's involved. So a good rejoin. As I was just talking about him, there's David Kreutz.
River Page gets around. Big wreck.
And netcode there in the middle of the pack, and around was your pole sitter, Jackson Carr. And David Kreutz makes it through the wreck as he's getting lapped.
Saw a lot of cars involved in that one. I know I saw River Page, James Thurston, and Jacob Wilkerson in there. I'm pretty sure I saw Josh William involved. Jackson Carr and him were pretty much on top of each other down that back straightaway. Here it is. River Page got turned, collected. James Thurston got driven through by Skylar Hollard. Those 4 went up into the outside wall, and then Josh Williams and Jackson Clear, they were clear of the wreck, but they ended up, Jackson Carr ended up getting turned, and they rode like that down the back straightaway with Jackson Carr's front end off the ground. Josh Williams gets it turned off the wall in a multi-car wreck, I believe. By my count, that was 6 cars. The 29 of Jackson Carr, Josh Williams, Skylar Hollard in the 3, River Page in the 24, Jacob Wilkerson in the 43. You see his front bumper off there trying to bring that car back around to the pits, and James Thurston in the 96 as well. That was a big wreck on lap 36 of this race.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right, and Wilkerson is cooked, absolutely done, and damage there on Zach Tondriff once again. I don't know if he was involved in the wreck. I think he may have missed it. There's Will Shack and River Page slowly crawling there in the back. But yeah, you can see Wilkerson he's destroyed. I don't know if he can continue on again, but as we go live, Jackson Carr going down pit road. There's David Kreutz, who has trouble-free pit road attempt to cut the tri-oval and gain a few extra seconds from getting his lap back. So, repairs and tires taken for Jackson Carr. An unfortunate incident for him. But we're going to go back and cut to the leader. As Joseph, I believe that is Joseph Lewis, who goes down pit road. And,
I thought that was Daniel Moore in the 28.
No, it's Joseph Lewis there, and that is Nolan Drake is leading this race. Josh Williams just behind him, Michael Deitch, Connor Isabel, CJ Allman, Daniel Mosteller, James Thurston, Jacob Wilkerson, Zach Tondriff, and Bomar. That's your top 10. Right now, your top 5 out on track. So, Michael Deitch is in that's not a 48 car. I apologize. That is a Lowe's car, but it has the Hendrick 5 on it. So, gonna be tough to discern who is who, but the Lowe's number 5 is Michael Deitch.
Yeah, and he's been pretty quiet so far this race, but it looks like with staying out there, he finds himself up at the front of this field. He probably pit under that last yellow. Points by to get another one of his laps back. Nolan Drake leads for the first time tonight, driving that number 23 machine. I'm not exactly quite sure what manufacturer that is. I want to keep it on him going so I can maybe see that. Is that a Tesla?
No, it's a Toyota. It's a Toyota. I think
Toyota's head.
Can't really zoom in. Let's see if we can get a better look. There is Nolan Drake in the 23.
Go Chase.
Far chase. This is it's definitely a Toyota. Let's see if we can go from rear chase. Oh, it's a Corolla.
It's a Corolla. Interesting. I like the play here. So we normally see Camrys in NASCAR, or if you're in the Xfinity Series, we see Supras for Toyota. This is the first time I've ever seen a Toyota Corolla take to the circuit in a NASCAR-style race. So we'll see if Nolan Drake can put this Toyota Corolla into victory lane, as now the field going to start to double up as they round turn number 4. You see Drake Berry in the 27 up there as well. And everybody just going to start to form up and try and get back in line. We're going to see if we can start logging some laps here.
Absolutely. So we've had a couple of cautions. As the famous saying goes, cautions breed cautions. But I don't think it's been that bad. It's been, a couple car incidents. But, other than that, I think the racing so far has been great. And it's interesting to see a Toyota Corolla lead the field out of a bunch of Chevys. And although iRacing says it's the Arca Menard Chevrolet Impala, you can add different manufacturers. That's why a Corolla is now leading the field. But we've got Corolla, Chevy, Ford, Fusion, then a Ford Taurus, I believe another Chevy. So field manufacturers bounce across all the way, and we've got a couple of Dodges in the field as well.
I do want to ask, now that I look at the ticker, I know the 27 is Josh Williams and not the 57 car, because the ticker is very messed up right now. So who is in that number 57 car, so I can remember it for later? Because I see him back there, car in P9 at the moment, and I'm not sure who it is, because I've been calling them Josh Williams this entire time.
The 57 is Cash Culp.
Thank you. I did not know that, so I apologize, Cash. As I completely thought that Josh Williams was driving your car this entire time. I see your name up on the name rail now, as the ticker has been messing up the numbers, or the numbers on the ticker have been messed up pretty much this entire race. So I've just been going off my best guess, and if I can't give a real good guess, it's been off the numbers. So I apologize for that, and to anybody else that I might have screwed up, and especially to Drake Berry, because I've been saying that he's been driving the 27 the entire race, and he has not been. So apologies for that.
Yeah, and if those of you at home would like to put, not those of you at home, those of you driving right now, when you watch back this stream, and you'd like your number to be correct at the top of the ticker, message Daryl Strawberry or David Kreutz, our broadcasting producer and partner, and he'll put your number here and any colors you want in the box next to your name. So to make sure that your numbers are right next stream, make sure to message Daryl Strawberry or David Kreutz, and make sure that you send him his number and any colors you want in your box, and then your number will be perfectly and properly displayed on the ticker.
I don't mean to be a little bit of a jerk, but displayed. It's a pretty funny word.
I did say displayed.
As the pace car gonna re-enter the pit lane once again, it's gonna be Nolan Drake. And this time, let me get it right, Josh Williams driving the number 27 Wendy's car. Michael Deitch up there as well. So is the 72. A lot of drivers that are up there for the first time tonight. That 72 car being driven by Connor Asbell as they take the green flag once more tonight on lap 38, coming to 39 of this race. Pretty even start. On the top lane, Josh Williams gets a better one, and he'll stick his nose out in front of Nolan Drake as heading to turn number 1. Michael Deitch tries to give him a shove. Now he'll pull to the outside as Josh Williams going to lead this race at the moment. Michael Deitch getting a nice head of steam down through turns 1 and 2. He gets out of the way for James Thurston and CJ Allman, though, who's back up front. And now it's a 2x2 pack, as we'll see who makes the first move to go 3 wide. Michael Deitch is already up there. I think he was going to the back on purpose, though. Jacob Wilkerson is gonna be with him up there now. As it looks like they're gonna split him 4 wide. Michael Deitch up on the wall now, as he wants to go to the back of the field, so he's just gonna keep that car on the wall until he gets behind everybody. He might have just lost the draft because of that, though. As they head down the front straightaway now, already 3 wide once again. Daniel Mosteller having a little bit of fun back there, wiggling as I just said Wiggle Page. As River Page wanted to pull up in front of him, and he will. Daniel Mosteller going to sit in the middle for now. James Thurston leading the race.
You better be proud of yourself getting the people with their numbers correct. James Thurston now leads the field. First time leader for him, I believe. Josh Williams now just behind him. Nolan Drake, who started at the restart in first, is now third. Toyota Corolla running nicely on the bottom. We've got another lap car out in front. I believe that might be David Croix. Someone dropping back below the yellow line there, down the back straightaway. But now Jacob Wilkerson tries to make a move around the outside. No one is really lined up with their teammates just yet, trying to get it worked out. And yeah, David Croix, lap car down below, and he'll keep it on the apron. But after being in an incident with David Croix on pit road, CJ Allman finds himself in the top 5.
Yeah, he's leading a charge from that middle lane as he's got help from the number 77 machine as they head into turn number 1 now. James Thurston leads Josh Williams on the inside line. Nolan Drake trying to get something to work with Jacob Wilkerson and Jackson Carr up on the outside. We're going to see a nice run from CJ Allman down this back straightaway. He might see if he can get in front as he's got help from Daniel Moore in the number 77 car. Almost 4 wide back there. I think they are 4 wide. And 99, Sean Rowe's going to get turned. Daniel Mosteller's in it. CJ Allman is in it. Or excuse me, not CJ Allman. Daniel, the 28 car was in it there. That was Daniel Lewis, sorry. And another multi-car wreck, only 3 laps into the run.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Daniel Mostelli, your pick again, collected in another incident. Now, I think this race was going well for PBR. They were all at the front of the field, but now it turns out that with 20 laps to go, being up front might have not been the best idea. We're going to get an instant replay. There is Sean Rowe.
Skylar Hollard got in that as well.
David Croix, we're going to go with him. I believe he missed the wreck. He went through the grass. Does he collect?
And
oh,
Pyle
no!
drives the 35 of Will Shack.
No, and he hits Will Shack and goes right up the track.
72!
And barely misses the 72. Todd, what's the middle? And Cash called, no, right into the rear, left rear of the 62.
And Kreutz again, I'm sorry, I know you're listening, but Kreutz again proves to me that he should have had a penalty and maybe have been disqualified from this race when he got CJ Ullman involved in that wreck on pit road. Is another incident with him that could have easily been avoided had he just hit the brakes. He was a little bit behind that pack. He just hits the brakes, slows down, and none of those drivers that got involved with him, Cash Culp, Zach Todriff having to avoid that, but everybody he hit, Will Shack on the inside as well, it could have been avoided if he just hit the brakes. So honestly, in my opinion, Kreutz deserves several penalties. And Kreutz, I know you're listening to me right now, so you might hate me for this, but still, that's just completely my opinion. Is hasn't been the best show of driving from you, even though I know you're on controller.
And there he goes, flying down pit road as we were just talking about him. And he's gonna cut through pit road. Oddly enough, he does not pit to repair his damage, so David Court's clearly fearing over his laps down rather than getting his damage fixed. We're gonna cut to the front of the field here as Nolan Drake is again our leader.
Yeah, it looks like he was in front of James Thurston at the time of caution. So everybody clear for the rest of the race on fuel. And now it's just going to be, and now we just have to see who can get to the end of this race. As it's been a wreck-filled one for sure. So we're going to have to see who can make it to the end at least. As a lot of these drivers that you've honestly been saying, I know everybody says that backmarkers can easily win a super speedway race, and honestly, some of the backmarkers that have been in this race find themselves in some pretty good positions right now, as Nolan Drake he's been quiet all race, and suddenly he finds himself up towards the front of this field. Same thing with Daniel Moore driving the number 77 car. CJ Ullman involved in several wrecks. He's up here now. James Bomar still in the lead pack, as well as the number 72 machine. Daniel Moore in that 77 car, he's up here. Will Shax, it looks like he took probably took a fast repair, and he's back up in the lead pack. And at 72 cars, he's been involved in quite a couple wrecks today. I'm not sure who that is back there. I want to see if we can figure out who that is, but he's been in several wrecks today, and he's been able to keep that car clean, fix the damage, use the fast repairs whenever he can, and he's been doing a pretty good job.
Here goes David again to get his lap back again. Let's have a chat with James Thurston, and let's see his opinion on what happened. James Thurston, you join us here in the FTN booth. Give us some explanation on the wreck that just happened, and give us some forethought on your current position.
Well, I had nothing to do with that wreck, so I have no idea what happened with it. But they just haven't been going on the restart, so I just go last or first without breaking any rules. I'm pretty sure. So just having fun out here and trying to win.
So you find yourself in second place, only second to Nolan Drake and his Toyota Corolla. We've seen you avoid some of the worst accidents, and you've been at the front of the pack a couple of times. What do you think right now, going on race strategy, as there's almost 15 laps to go? What do you think is going to be important for the rest of the race on?
I don't know. Just finishing the race before nighttime, as someone in the broadcast set it up. Yeah, there's no strategies. It's just plain super speedway racing.
Well, right now, it won't end at night. It's going to end at a decent time. That was my mistake for the first session, but I just want to give a shout out to David Kreutz, who was our inaugural night race winner here in the full Send SuperSpeedway Series. They should give him an extra point for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully I'll win it. Oh boy, who was that?
That's Croy.
Oh, that was Croy.
That's the one and only David Kreutz.
Oh boy. Well, if that says anything, this should be a very, very ridiculous race to the finish.
Yeah, so right you are. And any last words that you'd like to say before we go green?
Shake and bake. If you ain't first, you're last.
I like it.
So thank you for your time, James Thurston, and hopefully your race goes well. Well, clearly speaking to us in the American Sign Language there at the end. That was the voice of James Thurston and the 96 machine there in the DLP Texas Instruments HD TV machine in second place. And he is currently in second position only to Nolan Drake, who is, again, our leader on this restart. Nolan Drake, as you said before, a lot of these a lot of these back markers and a lot of these people who stay at the back are now proving to be the correct strategy as they find themselves at the front of the field.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can fare up in the front of this pack. I reckon that they'll have the best cars for the end of this race. It looks like I didn't completely commentator. I mean, I have, but I haven't completely commentators cursed my pick, because I still see Daniel Mosteller rejoining the pack back there. There he is in the Mike Wazowski Arca Menard Chevrolet. So he has gotten that car fixed, and the iRacing pace car going to bring it back down in the pit lane once again, all up to the drivers. They'll restart with 16 laps to go as they head through the tri-oval, now led by Nolan Drake. Jacob Wilkerson going to give him a shove once they get back underway. James Thurston leading the top. He's got CJ Almond on his rear bumper, and we're back underway from Talladega.
Back green again as James Thurston now goes to stays in the second position, as now Jackson Carr gets a great move around the outside. Will slide right behind the 96 of James Thurston. Trying to get to the lead is the 96 machine, as the rest of the pack was sleeping on the restart, and will try and make up ground going down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and pretty much a 5-car main pack, as everybody else going to use that slipstream to catch back up. You see the 27 of Josh Williams getting back up to the field. John Smith in the 48. James Thurston going to be forced to get to the inside line. This is going to open up the door for Jackson Carr to take the lead. He's got help from CJ Ullman on the top side. The inside lane has more cars and is more formed up at the moment. They got 6 down there, or pretty much 5 in terms of lead cars, compared to the top lane's 2 at the moment, as John Smith going to be forced to stay on the outside now, as he's going to get to the outside of CJ Ullman, and Will Shack will cover up the inside right behind the number 97 car. So John Smith stuck on the outside by himself. I think he's just going to have to be forced to stay up there. He might end up going to the rear of the field. No, he's going to fall in line in front of River Page. He's going to let him in there, but that's going to knock that outside line back a couple of cars.
Will Shack making a great appearance now, back up into the top 5. There's Jackson Carr, who elects to take the outside lane, will now go to the front of the field with CJ Ullman, and now Will Shack fighting for third place as they almost touch. The 35 and the 96 of James Thurston and Will Shack almost touch. Wilkerson forced to push that 35 Texas machine out of turn number 4. So the field already going 3 wide again, as John A. Smith tries to make a move there with the 24 of River Page. with the 99 of Sean Rowe just behind the 24. They're all going to move back down to the bottom, leaving the 24 River Page high and dry. Only help Daniel Mosteller.
So they are being a bit calmer, though. Not a lot of drivers electing to jump up to the outside line, as it's still only the 24 River Page and the 7 of Daniel Mosteller riding up there. Everybody else choosing to sit in either the middle lane or the top side. Jacob Wilkerson thought about it there, but he was just getting around Will Shack there, who's gonna take over the lead of this race, almost 4 wide there. Daniel Mosteller might have tried to get to the outside of River Page, as they had James Beaumont to the inside there. Would have put him 4 wide with James Thurston and Josh Williams as well. So as they head out of turn 4, Will Shack leads this race. Jacob Wilkerson with a push from John Smith up on the outside. James Beaumont are going to send it 3 wide. That'll force Nolan Drake up top all by himself. Nobody going to follow him up there as River Page and Daniel Mosteller are going to stick to the low line. Now a car picking up to the outside. That's Josh Williams with Daniel Moore up there as well.
And that's right, you are. I want to point out Will Shack has gone to the lead. The 35 Pepsi Chevrolet. Oh, sorry, Ford Taurus. God, the 35.
No, he's getting split.
No, he's going to get split right as I was just about to congratulate him, and he's going to get split. Golly, I'm so sorry. Well, and they're going to wreck.
Oh, there they go.
John Smith out of the outside wall, and it's the big one. Will Shack is upside down.
Several cars airborne there. That's going to take out a lot of the cars in this field.
It's the field in turns 3 and 4 as the field gets absolutely decimated. John Smith got turned onto the top side lane, and the rest of the field was completely killed.
Yeah, there's so many cars involved in that. Just to name a few, I saw James Thurston, River Page in there. Will Shack definitely involved. And honestly, there were so many cars I couldn't clearly tell who was completely involved in it. I think Daniel Moore might have been in there in the number 77 car, but so many drivers involved in that. Let's see if we can get a replay of exactly what just happened there. Concur how many cars exactly were involved in that wreck. So let's see if we can get a replay going to see how messed up James Thurston's car is. Several cars airborne into the wall. You see the 77, the 23, and Nolan Drake in there. Jackson Carr is involved. Here's a replay to see exactly what happened here. I think Sean Rowe might have turned John Smith, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. They went down too far. John Smith gets turned in a Jackson Carr. CJ Allman and River Page get decently lucky. We look at the pace car sitting idly in the pits. Will Shack is in that. Todriff piles in, nowhere to go. Several cars airborne. You can see the 99 of Sean Rowe getting turned by Josh Williams back up the track. Is several cars going to be out of this race after that? No doubt. There's Sean Rowe heading over. Our camera in turn 3. Daniel Moore heading backwards out of the track. John Smith with a bit of front bumper damage as well.
That's actually Will Shack. Will Shack giving us a jump scare, was rolling backwards, and actually, no, you're right.
That was Daniel Moore.
Yeah, that was Daniel Moore going backwards.
Yes, several cars just involved there. It's a massive wreck, and that's going to open the door for lot of other drivers. Like you see Daniel Lewis piloting the number 28 car. He'll have another shot.
Actually, no mean to cut you off.
Joseph Lewis will have another shot.
That is the biggest wreck I think I've ever seen. That is insane.
No, I've seen bigger, but that one's definitely up there. That's going to put a whole new set of drivers up into the top 5. We're on board with Daniel Mosteller. It went from pretty much the rear of that field all the way up to 3rd now. CJ Ullman in 2nd in front of him. Jacob Wilkerson in the lead. Zach Todriff, after being involved in what seemed like every single wreck tonight, is in 4th with another car behind him. That looks like, I want to say, Daniel Lewis driving the 72 car, if I'm not mistaken. Connor Isbell. I can't associate numbers to names right now. It's my weakness.
Nope.
I apologize for getting names wrong. I'm just completely guessing at this point because the ticker is having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, so to anyone else who wants their number properly displayed on the top of the broadcast, please be sure to message either one of the 3 names, Daryl Strawberry, Fireball Talks NASCAR, or David Kreutz. They'll be the same profile picture. It's a Roblox profile picture. Make sure to DM him and make sure to get your number right on the broadcast, or there should be a channel in the server. So the drivers listening and watching this broadcast, or watching again after the race is already over, be sure to message him to let him know, or to send your number in the specified channel, and so we can put these in and get things right for next time.
Yeah, as they're going to take 10 to go under yellow. I think they'll restart with 9 to go as several cars rejoin the field, but the pack definitely a bit smaller than it was before that wreck, as a lot of drivers got a lucky break there, and a lot of drivers might have just been put out of this race. River Page and James Thurston no longer in this lead pack of pacing cars as they head through the trioval to, I assume, get the 1 to go signal. Michael Deitch going to enter the pits now. As you can see, CJ Albany looks like, to me at least, his front bumper pushed in a little bit. So not every car up here is completely clean. A lot of drivers still have some damage at the moment, as it has been a very wreck-filled race from Talladega.
You're absolutely right, and it's whoa, and there goes David. I just was trying to calmly talk about the race how it's been, and here comes David Croix, still with a damaged front end. So David electing to stay out with this damaged as a car, but truth be told, we do have 5 green-white-checkered attempts, so plenty of time to get back on the lead lap. So David taking every opportunity to get on the lead lap, then cut down pit road and get that damage repaired. He might have a fasty, he might not. Let's go talk to David. David, tell us how you're doing.
Hello?
David, you got us?
I don't think he's...
Yeah, I'm like 1 lap down now, I
There he
think.
is.
I think I'm going to be fine if I just get 1 more caution.
So, you're electing to stay out, and there's going to be another caution. I highly doubt that we're going to go green all the way to the end. Hopefully, broadcaster's curse kicks in, but I highly doubt that, we're going to go all the way green. No offense to anybody. But...
Yeah, and Kreutz, I gotta ask, what is your top speed right now? How fast are you going?
I'm hitting like 168, but with the draft I can go like 180, so it's not too bad. But I'll just go down for optionals next caution.
It's not horrible, but yeah, you're gonna have to get all that damage fixed and go down for optional. Are you gonna go for a lap back here, just try and maintain pace with the pack?
There's no reason to go for it this time by, I don't think. I mean, I think I'm 1 down, so...
yeah, you're 1 down. I would just wait till the next caution.
Yeah, I gotta wait till the next yellow.
Yeah, so good luck. Hopefully you can keep your car out of any wrecks that may occur, and hopefully get back on the lead lap, fix some of that damage, and maybe have a shot at winning this race on controller after being over 5 laps down for most of the race. So we'll see how you do with that. Good luck.
Absolutely, there's still a shot.
And that was the voice of David Kreutz there in the 62 machine. As we get ready to go look the front of the field, there is CJ Almeida, Daniel Mosteller, getting ready to go green here once again as they go to, not the Geico restart zone, that's the Geico branding on the wall. The Geico restart zone, and we're about to go green once again. And we're finally green here in Talladega. Just under 10 laps to go here. And Johnny Smith with a Kyle Busch restart. It's going to go right to the front with this one.
And again, this is the second time he's done that at this race. Honestly, if I were an admin, penalty for that, just going from last to first with a refusal to slow down, I just personally think that's not fair to the rest of the field. But everybody getting single file for the most part with 9 laps to go. John Smith with a lot of left side damage that I don't think he'll be able to stay there for long, as most of the drivers that were involved in that wreck have gone back out onto the track. Daniel Mosteller almost gets turned there. You can see James Thurston, Will Shack, and River Page, and James Thurston gets turned. He'll keep it off the wall.
He'll keep it. Oh, Josh Williams going to split it 3 wide, almost 4 wide, and he keeps it out of harm's way. So we've already got, this is actually the first time it's happened this race. We got to split 2 different packs, but now it's going to be all down to the drivers and to see what they can do to get back up and grouped up as one big pack again. But I mean, as I'm telling you right now, I couldn't even tell you what they're going to do. These drivers have been all across the board. They have been all doing all sorts of stuff. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. This is just how crazy this race has been.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good save from James Thurston to keep that car off the wall, but if a yellow doesn't in his chances, as it is a bit of a 2 pack race at the moment, but just they are in range for the slipstream, so I reckon all the drivers are going to end up getting back together. Wilkerson leads Mosteller, leads Todriff on the inside. Jackson Carr trying to get something to work up on the outside again. He's got help from CJ Owen and James Bomar, but Josh Williams going to duck back to the inside lane now with Sean Rowe behind him, as well as Daniel Moore. Or, excuse me, that's Connor all something. So that'll help me with that one.
Who are you looking for?
The number 72 car.
Number 72 car, that is not...
It's Connor all something. It's Connor all something.
It's Connor Isbell.
Connor Isbell, thank you very much. And yeah, so Connor Isbell and Daniel Lewis rounding out that inside line as well. James Bomar going to go for wide now, as he's not going to have any help up there. I don't think he'll get very far, as Daniel Mosteller blocking Jackson Carr up top. He'll get a push to the lead now in front of Jacob Wilkerson. Jackson Carr going to be forced up on the outside by himself. He's got James Bomar and CJ Allman a little bit further behind him now. Daniel Lewis considering the outside lane. Jacob Wilkerson going to go up top with his PBR teammate. And now, as we take 6 laps to go, it could almost be a PBR 1-2-3 if Zach Todriff can get up there. James Bomar coming with help in the 41 car as well. He'll send it 3 wide.
This is an incredible showing. River Page down on the apron, but riding on board with Jacob A. Wilkerson now going to be almost a PBR 1-2-3 on the top side lane as he gets clear of Daniel Mosteller, at least by the front bumper. And a strong showing by PBR, but also a wreckful race as River Page tried to block the Crown Royal car in the back. But this is certainly going to be an interesting race here, coming down to the last few laps, coming down with 5 laps to go. I can't tell you. I mean, I'm proud of these guys. They made it 5 laps without wrecking.
You might have just cursed them here. I think they're going to wreck in 1 and 2 after you said that, but they're going to take 5 to the line, and not even 1 and 2. It'll be in the tri-oval, 2 cars, so I'm not sure if they will throw the yellow.
No yellow.
A lot of drivers made it through that, and there it is.
I might as well just shut up. I gotta stop talking. Everything that comes out of my mouth is completely opposite of what happens. I just, you know what? I don't know. Commentators curse, beware.
Well, we will have a green-white checker after that now. Is the field going to get 2 to go once they go back green. So we'll see what happens, as all of the drivers are going to have to line back up and go for it once more for 2 full laps. Hopefully they can make it through the first one, and this race can be official, because I reckon it will be an absolutely amazing finish once we get there. They have 5 green-white checker attempts in case they wreck again. But judging off how far they were able to make it there, I think they can pull off 1 lap to get us to the white flag.
Well, I don't know. Everyone gets crazy on a green-white checker, so we're going to go back and we're going to see what exactly happened. I'm going to go back 60 seconds on an instant replay. I believe this is already after the wreck had occurred.
It was in the tri-oval.
It was in the
Remember
tri-oval. There's John A. Smith going slow. Not sure what happened. So here's entering turn 1. So this is, I think after the wreck had already happened. Yeah. So let me go back another 15 seconds and we'll see. So this is coming to the tri-oval, and it looks like everything is sorted out well at the moment. And then CJ Allman comes down. Not sure. Looks everything fine. There was a couple of cars that wrecked in the grass, but I can't really see who it was. So
yeah, I know River Page almost got collected in that. I'm not sure, honestly, who was all involved. Looks like it might have been a lap later than this. You might have gotten the wrong lap.
Yeah, so we're going to go back live again. There goes David Kreutzen. Now I believe David is on the lead lap, because I didn't see...
He'll probably fix some damage now, as they'll probably receive 2 to green at the line here, so we have time to search for where this wreck happened.
Here's David getting his lap back. Great showing from him, honestly. And still has not fixed his car. So, clearly still a lap down, but I think if he goes down to the apron now, you're on TV, David. Wiggle high. But, I think apart from his incident...
figure out where the wreck was.
Oh, there's the wiggle. There's the wiggle. He just saw it. We're going to go and see if we can find out where the wreck was. So, I believe who was involved. We're going to go back instant replay. Oh. Instant replay did not work. There's David. There's Jackson Carr. So under yellow again. Let's see if we can go back. So I believe this might
Yellow,
have the
yellow wasn't out. Oh, there it is. So they were wrecking in the trial on this lap. You see smoke back there. There's a car around. So
go
click back a couple
15
cars.
seconds. There we go. So here,
See if we can see who this was as they enter the trial of all. Looked like just a congestion, maybe a checkup on the inside lane as you see some of those cars get out of line there. Daniel Monsteller and Zach Todriff up the track in the trial. You see contact there. The 28 car, I think that's Daniel Lewis, turned CJ Allman to the inside of the racetrack. We'll see if we can switch to CJ Allman to see where he went.
Joseph Lewis goes for a spin. This is CJ Almond.
Yeah, CJ Allman, Joseph Lewis, excuse me, gets turned as well. He'll spin to the inside wall. I'm not sure if he gets hit by anything. You see River Page barely misses it, tags the wall, and it looks like Daniel Lewis saved it.
Yes, we're gonna.
Or excuse me, Joseph Lewis. Joseph Lewis saves it, and he keeps going. Here's River Page, and he has to make some evasive maneuvers to avoid the 97. Can't get it turned back to the left fast enough. Ends up tagging the outside wall pretty hard. That might be a little bit of damage for him. You can see the right rear crunch there.
You could see just how much the right front was loaded up, though. He wanted to avoid that as much as possible. So now, obviously, still River Page down pit road, but we're going to cut back to the lead pack, and looks like Jackson Carr, out of all things, is still leading this race.
Yeah, so they will end up having to use one green-white checker. Start with 2 laps to go, and if we only need said one green-white checker, we will end on lap 61 of this race instead of lap 60. So there's Kreutz out of the pits after fixing some damage. He'll be able to get back on the lead lap at one. But
wow, look at that, almost brand new car.
Yeah, but what should be one to go there, if we can swap back to the pace car to see if its lights are still on or not, instead of sitting on Kreutz here. Yep, the lights are off. We're going back green this time by now. It'll be a PBR front row as Jackson Carr and Jacob Wilkerson could implement some team orders if they wanted to, get right in front of each other, but with the energy that can be created just by one car with this package, I don't even know if being teammates at this point matters.
You're right about that. I personally still think teamwork matters on a super speedway. Although, just as much as these runs can generate, if you got 2 of them together, you're screwed. So teammates still definitely matter. River Page going to get his lap back. He'll have to cut through pit road to have a hope and a chance to try and make it back to
I think with how long these laps are, I think he'll be able to get it back.
Well, there he is going into 3. We're about to go into 3. So before we go green.
He is heading out of 4, so
he
might be able to get there. He's running with James Thurston there as they're trying to get some laps back. They'll floor it down pit road now. Great camera angle. See where they are. On board, Thurston hanging out in the pit stalls. River Page takes more of an arcing route, and they'll get back on the track in a turn 1, get their black flags cleared for flying through the pit lane. So that's where the leaders are.
We're going to cut back to the pace car. The pace car is... Oh, they might make it. They might just make it. I believe it's in turn 4. They're in turn 4. We're going to cut back to the 24 River Page. They're down the back.
I see Kreutz back there. He made it. They're heading into 3 pretty much right now.
I think they're going to make it.
Yeah, so we'll see the pace car head into the pit lane up towards the front of the field. They're definitely going to make it to the main pack. They'll have to slow down a little bit for sure. There they are on turn 4. The pace car back into the pits, and this could be the last restart. It might not. We just don't know. We have to see if they can make it a whole lap around this track. But as they approach the Geico restart zone, Jackson Carr, Jacob Wilkerson, and they're going to take the green flag. Now we're back underway.
Oh, they're wrecking again!
And that's a massive wreck. John Smith tried to go for another Kyle Busch restart, got blocked by Sean Rowe, and there's the yellow once more. Honestly, that was a good move from Sean Rowe to keep John Smith from doing that again, but still, I don't think it's worth it. He had a damaged car. He was going to fall back. That was very unnecessary from both drivers.
It looks like I'm back in the race now.
But good on Sean Rowe to keep John Smith from doing that again, because that has just been absolutely stupid that he hasn't gotten a penalty for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what
somebody else got turned as well. Skylar Holler.
We're going to go for another bit of an instant replay. We're going to go for the blimp, and we're going to see if we can slow it down. So he goes way late to block. Puts him in the outside wall.
There's a separate wreck up in front of him, though. You see Zach Tondriff turning the 3-car Skylar Hollard.
So people are being absolutely menaces. Just want to. They got Page.
They got turned down the track, and the Michael Deitch River Page slams into the 99 car.
And that's a pretty good ollie for River Page. I don't want to make it clear.
Joseph Lewis drives under him.
Yeah, make it clear that David Kreutz once again missed the wreck completely. As there goes Michael Deitch spinning in the top right with damage. David is in the clear, and now David has a chance to win on controller. We're going to cut back to the live feed. David, how you doing?
I gotta come down. They're all saying to go 1 to green, so I don't think they are gonna do that, but people are yelling about it. So if they do, I don't know. I got 40 seconds of optional, so I think the car is gonna be fine as soon as I get it done.
Well, we're gonna cut back to the pace car just to be sure, and from what it looks like, they have not. So if they don't do it within the next few seconds, David, go down pit road.
I think it's River Page who just said no because they're calling him an L admin. So yeah, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, so David, go down pit road, get your damage repaired, and hopefully we'll see you up through the field, and we'll check back in if another caution comes out.
Absolutely, that's what we hope to see.
The voice of David Kreutz. Now, speaking of the...
Boys, they're wrecking.
Oh my god. So, turns out they were wrecking, and we're going to try and see if we can... go back and look. Looks like everyone got it sorted out. Yeah, it looks like everyone got it sorted out. And what I was going to say is, let's go talk to our good pal, River Page. River Page, you joined us here in the FTN booth once again. You were involved in that incident and went way up in the air, did a nice ollie. Give us an explanation on what happened there.
Yeah, the most recent wreck was Floppa went to Kyle Busch to restart for the 3rd time, and Sean Rowe decided to take matters into his own hands, you might say. And
I don't mean to interrupt you, but why has John Smith not been getting penalties for that?
Well, it's not in the official it's not in the official Beckman Design SuperSpeedway Series rulebook, so John Smith has been getting away with this, but unfortunately, next time he do this, he will be heavily penalized.
So, penalties flying out for John A. Smith. You yourself, River, have avoided some of the incidents and got back with the field just shortly. So, give us an explanation on what to do now sitting down pit road as David Kreutz passes you.
I'm gonna... I don't know. It's kind of hard to get through the field with no help. And there's so many people in here. It's been hard for me to get to the front, and I'm going to be in the back again, so I'm just going to try and make it 4 wide, make some funny little moves. I don't have any more fast repairs, so it's all or nothing, honestly.
Well, did you take a fasty pair there, or did you repair?
No, I didn't. I used my last fast repair on, lap 40.
Oh, okay. Well, you've made it this far, so I guess now it's all or nothing. As we're going to put you back in there with the guys, anything else you'd like to say?
No, I don't think I have anything else to say.
That's a quote from River Page. But thank you for your time, and hopefully all goes well.
Yeah, thank you.
That was the voice of River Page there.
So another update on me. I gotta apologize. I'm interrupting. So I'm good. My car has got no damage, and now I have no fuel. I have 0.1 gallons and 0.1 laps, and now I have to calm down again. This race has really been something.
David, did you not take fuel while you were repairing your car?
Yeah, I did not take fuel or nothing while I was repairing my car, but now I'm going to take fuel. I almost ran out. Thankfully, you guys mentioned that in the interview, and that's the only reason I'm going to be able to finish this race.
But, David, why did you not take fuel?
Saves like 15 seconds.
The car still gets fixed while you're taking fuel.
The car gets fixed while you're taking fuel.
Gets fixed slower, though. I mean, now I think I'm perfect.
It gets fixed like a quarter of a second slower.
Every second matters.
If you think about it, there's six people that can be over the wall working on a race car at once. So you got the one guy fueling, everybody else, those other 5 guys, they're fixing the car. Me personally, I would have been taking fuel.
I mean, personally, I want.
No, we got a full tank. I mean, let me see, how many laps do I have on it right now? We got damn, I'm going through all of them. I got 40 laps on it now. I mean, I went all the way down to the last on that one, just trying to make it a little bit of a quicker car with a light fuel cell there. But now it's going to be heavy, and now I've got River behind me.
Yeah, I
don't know why I'm good.
I think you overfueled your car, but personally, me, I want 5 guys fixing my burger, hopefully not my car. But David, you're now back on the lead lap with a chance to win on controller. How you feeling?
We're just gonna wait until the race is over here. I mean, there's still anything that can happen, and given that we only went like 500 feet the last time, I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it to the end on this one. I'm a little worried if that's gonna happen.
Well, worried you definitely should be, but out of everything, hopefully your race goes well. You've been probably the most turmoiled person throughout this whole race, and now you're here.
Yeah, it looks like I won't even be finishing last. I don't know what's going on with Cash Colt. Something with River, it looks like. It's some administrative stuff. I don't know. I have voice chat off, so I'm just trying to pick at pieces. But no distractions here. We're just going to go for it.
Well, alrighty. Well, hope your race goes well. We're about to go green. Anything else you'd like to say?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Alright, well, thank you. That was the voice of David Kreutz in the 62 Let's Go Mets machine. There is. He's actually a Chevrolet Impala. Gonna go back with the front of the field, as we're going to go back to the NASCAR cameras. But now, we're going to go for the second attempt at a green-white-checkered. And the pace car dives down pit road.
Yep, and as the field rounds the tri-oval as they approach the Geico restart zone, a PBR 1-2 once again. Let's see if we can 500 this time. The green flag back out as they head to the restart zone. It's a great start from Jacob Wilkerson. Daniel Mosteller, though, not there to push him as they take the green flag. He'll pull up in front of his teammate Jackson Carr now. We get to see how the rest of the field responds to teammates possibly working together. They make it to turn 1 this time, and still PBR 1-2. There's a big wreck in the back. Several cars involved in that one. That might be another yellow. Yes, it will be.
So, a massive wreck in the back.
That didn't even look that big. Looked like maybe 2 cars.
No, I don't know.
It ended up being about 4 or 5 guys. It was a little bigger than that, but people are evidently upset that the caution's out once again. Yellow's back out. This will lead us to our third green-white checkered. Let's take a quick look what happened.
Yeah, let's take a look here at what exactly happened. So this is entering turn 1 just off the restart. Wilkerson had just gone up to block, and John A. Smith again. So John A. Smith turns to 3, which turns to 28, kills James Thurston. That's a bit more than 5 cars, Kreutz. I'd say that's about 6 or 7 cars completely involved. There's 4 right there, and there's 3 off screen. And there's the front bumper, completely gone. So turmoil.
There's a lot of people upset about this caution being called. Apologize for interrupting, but I don't know, guys. That was a big wreck, and
no, that was 7 cars. That was definitely grounds for a caution. James Thurston.
That's about half the field, you know.
Yeah, James Thurston, River Page, the 3 to 28, John A. Smith. There's more than just 3 cars involved. So that is most definitely applicable reason to throw the yellow.
Yeah, and honestly, I would be upset too if I was a driver that's spinning this. So honestly, I'm not shocked that the drivers are upset. Hell, I would be upset too. Is they've now, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they've been pacing more than they've been under green this race with how many yellows have come out. I know that the drivers want to get there, and I want them to get there as well, because I don't think it's necessary to have to go through all 5 overtimes or all 5 green-white checkers. These drivers are definitely better than that, so I'm gonna hope they can get to the white flag again, as I know a lot of these drivers are gonna start to lose their patience.
Yeah, you're right about that. Drivers electing to go down pit road. But Jacob Wilkerson, it's familiar who has been out at the front of the pack right now, but you know, out of everything, David Kreutz gained spots, Sean Rowe is okay. And the person who seemed to be in this race is Crash Magnet, Zach Todriff, looks to have a clean race car.
Yeah, so we'll see if Todd can use that clean race car, which is probably the first time he's had a clean race car other than the start of this race. We'll see if he can use it to his advantage to try and maybe put himself in position to maybe have a shot at a decent result after what has been one of the worst races for him I've ever seen. Is we get the 1 to green signal, we get the 1 to green signal yet again. And in approximately about 2 miles, we're going to see if we can make it all the way back to the white flag again. We're going to have one more shot.
Yeah, right you are. After this restart, I believe this is now the 4th green-white-checkered restart we've had to use. There's a 3rd. There's 5, so we have 2 more chances, actually. This being the 3rd attempt to go green and hopefully stay green, but massive wreck in the back of the pack will bring out the yellow once again. Brought out the yellow. More than 6 drivers involved, so even though there's arguing about whether the yellow was right to bring out, I say more than definitely it was correct to bring out. And,
I think we might see a riot here if another yellow comes out from the driver.
well, I mean, there has to be a point where the yellow doesn't come out, but if there's 8 cars involved in a wreck...
Well, yeah, I know, but, like, for wrecks that we were seeing earlier that got yellows thrown for them, like 2 cars spinning completely off the track, that doesn't need to be a yellow. Especially on a green-white checker where we're already going to end up finishing 8 laps over the scheduled distance. Like, a 2-car wreck or a 3-car wreck, in my opinion, doesn't need to be a yellow. Maybe a wreck like what we had happen on that restart, that might need to be a yellow, but if it's 3 cars or less, that doesn't need to be a yellow at this point.
Yeah, you're right about that. As the iRacing pace car makes its way down pit road, a similar thing it's done all race. As Jacob A. Wilkerson leads the field back to green. We have 2 more attempts, apart from this one, to go green and go green all the way. They're going to try and go for it again. Anderson, take it away.
And the green flag back out. We're once again underway at Talladega checkered. And it looks like Jacob Wilkerson, another good start. This time he's not going to pull right up in front of his teammate. He's going to stick with Daniel Mosteller on the inside line now as they head into turn number 1. They make it farther than they did last time, if I'm not mistaken. So still, the lanes need to form up now for a lot of these drivers to have shots. You see James Bomar with Jackson Karp on the top side. Daniel Mosteller still with Jacob Wilkerson on the bottom. Down the back straightaway they go for the second to last time, heading towards turn number 3. Can they make it all the way?
Right, you are. Sorry, I was going to say James Thurston because the blue reminded me of his car. Well, actually, no, James Thurston is in the mix there. He's the 96 machine is 4th in line on the bottom, but Jacob A. Wilkerson now leads. As David Kreutz goes down to the bottom again, but this time it's for position, and he finds himself behind James Thurston, but they are going to make it unbelievably to the white flag, and David Kreutz is in position to possibly get a win here on controller. It's the final lap here at Talladega, and they might make it to the flag.
Any driver in this field could win at this point. You see Josh Williams up on the top, 3 wide. He's got no... Still 2x2 up front. 2 PBR cars leading each lane right now. Zach Todriff going to try and help Josh Williams. Wilkerson still leads Mosteller lead. And Jackson Carr leads Bomars. They head through 3 and 4 for the final time. Wilkerson all the way out front. Can Daniel Mosteller get there as well? He's not clear yet. Now he is.
Jacob
They'll
Wilkerson.
try and send it to the outside.
They're going to go for it. They're going to go 3, 4, 5 wide up the track. Nolan Drake from out of nowhere. I think it was Nolan Drake. I think we're going to wait for timing and scoring to update, but I think it might have been Nolan Drake. We're going to update our timing ticker. Jacob Wilkerson stole it.
At the line. How close was that gap? I need to know how close that was.
1/1000th of a second.
And
Jacob Wilkerson comes away with the win.
And it was 4 wide at the line between Mosteller, Wilkerson, Thurston, and Nolan Drake. What a finish. Look at that. Almost 6 wide at the line for the win of this race. And then they all wreck, save for maybe 2 or 3 cars. Look at this finish. Nolan Drake had to go below the yellow line to try and pull this off. We see Wilkerson wiggle there in the middle of that group. He's just trying to keep the car under him at that point. Bomar's up top as well by himself trying to get a run. And you'll see once Thurston gets an opening, he's going to shoot it down to below the yellow line. And he gets pretty close there as Wilkerson almost gets turned by Mosteller, and with Nolan Drake at the line, they were almost 6 wide for the win. What a finish.
That was one of the most wild finishes from one of the most wild races I've had the opportunity to commentate, and I am still shocked and at a loss for words. We're gonna slow it down. This has to be one of the greatest finishes of all time. Nolan Drake came up just 1,000th short. And I mean, look at that. I mean, there's no at this point. There's nothing you can do. You're being split 4 or 5. Split 5 wide, and David tried to fit in there as well. But I mean, Nolan Drake so close to victory, but it's Jacob Wilkerson at the line. And honestly, that was probably one of the most insane finishes I've ever had the opportunity to commentate. As Jacob Wilkerson burns it down with his teammate Zach Todriff, putting up plumes of smoke. And this is just great to see. I mean, teammates bringing it down together. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, it was just such a great finish. And I want to see if we can talk to Jacob Wilkerson wherever he is. I don't see him in any of the chats at the moment, but that was absolutely insane. And just what a finish. I mean, I have no words. That was absolutely incredible.
That is probably one of, the best races I've ever had the opportunity to, broadcast myself. And I gotta say, this has probably been, one of the best races ever. I mean, congratulations to Jacob A. Wilkerson, and congratulations to PBR on, I believe, another win on the season. The PBR might have been 2 for 2. I just gotta hand it to him. That's insane. And hopefully we can get him in for an interview. And we can read the chat. Jacob Wilkerson with a walk-off win just by 1,000th of a second. How are you feeling right now?
I feel really good about it. That was pretty intense on the final 2 laps there. I thought no one was gonna get me at the last second, and yeah, coming out of 4, I saw Demos going high, so I blocked a little bit. So I went back inside, because I saw everyone else behind was getting such a huge run, and yeah, just barely hung on to it for the win.
Yeah, right you are. That was honestly one of the greatest races I've ever had the pleasure of commentating, and one of the ones that I've ever had in the booth. Anderson, you want to say anything?
Just congrats on the win, man. That was such a close finish there. It was absolutely insane to watch. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you. I just gotta thank everyone at Team PBR, Zach Todriff, Brent Rubber Racing. They're all great guys. We've been working together most of the race, and yeah, just happy to be in victory lane.
Well, congrats on that, my friend. Great job on the win here tonight. We'll hopefully talk to you next weekend. From, if I'm not mistaken, next weekend is New Atlanta Next-Gens. How you feeling about that race?
That'll be. I feel really good going into Atlanta, knowing having momentum with back-to-back PBR wins. I feel like we could get a triple crown.
Yeah, that's right, because Sean Rowe did win last week from Daytona, so good luck on achieving that triple crown for PBR. We'll talk to you next week, hopefully.
Yep, thank you.
That was
Jacob Wilkerson. Sorry to cut you off. That was, again, one of, the best finishes I've ever seen. Let's talk to Demos. Daniel Mosteller, Demos, you have us in the booth. You were there at that amazing finish. What do you have to say on it?
The PBR train screwed that up for me. They worked really well as a team, but that's really frustrating. I think I had the move timed perfectly. There were just too many teammates behind me, and I couldn't do anything. And yeah, that sucks. I didn't see Nolan Drake. I thought I had second, but Nolan Drake was flying on the apron there, and he almost stole it from Wilkerson. But I hate coming up that close because I really thought my move was going to be perfect there. But P3 ain't that bad for my first race of the season.
Well, right you are, and coming, I believe you came in. Yeah, you came in third to Nolan Drake, who I believe isn't in a VC that we can see. But the whole race, apart from the amount of cautions we had, what's your rating on the whole race? We thought it was good from an action standpoint, from the broadcasting perspective, but as a driver's perspective, it's totally different.
First half of the race was really good. I enjoyed it. But second half, it kind of got out of control, especially the green-white-checkered. Two straight restart wrecks, that's kind of out of line. I was very surprised by that, and it's pretty frustrating. But it helped me get up through the field position-wise. I was able to, I think, gain like 3 spots through that whole shuffle. So that was good. Yeah, third sucks. At least it's not second, but we'll go on to next week, wherever the heck we're racing next week.
Next Gen's New Atlanta. How you feeling about it?
That's terrible. That's going to be really bad. I am not looking forward to that.
Well, a driver's eye view of the next race, all could be different, Demos. All could be different.
I'll lag out on the last lap.
That's not the way I had intended, but, I mean, I don't think I saw you lag the whole race.
I had a big power surge on lap 20. That snow in Connecticut. It's pretty tough on the internet.
We might have off on school Tuesday, Daniel.
Hell yeah.
And here I am, a perfect cool 70 degrees. Well, Demos, we're probably going to move you back, but anything you'd like to say before we wrap it up?
Thanks to Gavin for putting on the league. Shame he couldn't race tonight because it was a little out of control, but we did the best with what we could. It almost turned night during the race. I'm kind of glad we got that over with. You messed the session up again, Throttle, so good job on that.
No, I didn't mess it up. It was fine.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, but I want to give it out to David Kreutz. He was the first race winner in the dark. He should get a point for that.
Nah. Actually, that's the only time he'll sniff victory in this league, so...
Oof.
Nah, I'm kidding. I love you, Kreutz. I love you.
Personally, he went from 7 laps down with 7 minutes of damage. He finished, let's see if we can find the 62. He finished 9th. You gave that man a top 10 out of a 20-car field. What were y'all doing?
Him wrecking on pit road definitely set the fire inside of him there.
Well, it was a good race for you, Demos. P3 on the board. Anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you all for broadcasting. I love you both, and
I'd say my pick did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna win that race. You all know that.
Well, thank you, Demos, and thanks for your time, and congratulations on 3rd place.
Thank you.
Well, that was the voice of the 87, Daniel Mosteller, and I don't know about you, Alex, but I think this has been a great race.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a race. It was pretty interesting. Like I feel like Daniel, I feel like he put it perfectly. Every driver, or the first half of the race went by really well, only a couple of wrecks, and then the back half of the race, everybody just kind of lost their minds. So, I don't know. Overall, pretty decent race, pretty solid. But yeah. So other than that, I think I'm ready to close this one out.
Yeah, and right you are. And to all of the FTN viewers watching, we appreciate you for tuning in to tonight's event of the full Send SuperSpeedway Series Round 2 at Talladega, if that isn't a mouthful. And I'd like to congratulate, once again, Jacob A. Wilkerson on the win. So good to see him in victory lane. And Alex, I don't know about you, but that was probably one of the best races I've ever been. Anything else you'd like to say?
I'm all good.
Well, all right. Well, we thank all of you guys for tuning in, and we appreciate every viewer who tunes in to watch these streams. And I can't say appreciate again, but we can't appreciate you guys enough. So thank you for tuning in, and be ready here soon for a back-to-back viewing where David Kreutz takes on another league. I believe it's the SCRL Truck Series. So I'm going to hand it off here to David here shortly, and you guys will get some action once again. But from Alexander Valderas and Alexander Anderson, this has been the Full Send SuperSpeedway Series at Round 2 Talladega. So we appreciate all of you who have tuned in, and get ready for the second showing.